Good evening and God bless you, Dr. Hayes. My name is Lauren Wright and I'm in your 8 a.m. class. And the book that I read for your class was God at Work. And I really like this book because not only was it able to apply to Christians who were just beginning their faith, but also to Christians who have been Christians their whole life. Me, I was born in a Pentecostal church and I've been a Christian my whole life. So reading this book has really opened up my eyes on things that I didn't even know as well. Instead of, the book was talking about instead of God creating everyone by dust, he gave humans, husbands and wives, the opportunity to multiply. And also it talked about that the different jobs in ministry, is ministry because it works with people. You don't have to have the name as a youth pastor, a pastor, or evangelist or missionary, just through being a teacher or working at a dealership or even a store. Like, that's working with people, and that itself is already ministry. God also works in us through the gifts that he gives us to also help other people, and which is really interesting as well. I met a girl, she also preaches, so she has trouble on the introduction and the conclusion, and I have trouble with the body paragraph. So she was like, oh, well, we can help each other. And so that's how we're using our gifts, which is to also help each other. Also, another thing is, as much as we don't want to depend on people or even a machine to keep us alive, we still have to depend on people because there may be weaknesses that we have, but, other people have strengths that we don't. And so that's how we help each other as well through that. And, babies are a good example as that, babies, they depend on their moms and dads to nurture them, to care for them, to feed them, to love them, and just be there for them. Because they can't do any of that stuff. Another thing that the book was talking about was sex. Your body belongs to God and your spouse. And God had intended sex to be a beautiful thing between a husband and wife. But so many people nowadays just take it out of proportion and just do it just to do it or to get people mad. And it's really sad because, like I said, God, or like the book said, God has intended sex to be beautiful between a man and wife. And what I thought was cool that I never really realized is that Christians and non-Christians, they even have the same morals. It's not just religious morals through abortion, abuse, mistreatment, stuff like that. And also that Christianity is for every culture, as it says in Matthew 28, 19 through 20. So one of the stories that I thought was interesting was that this guy was in school and he studied his class and he failed, but he tried every single time, but he failed every single time. And he just got to the point where he felt like school just wasn't his thing. And so he was like, I'm just going to take a semester off, and he was going to go work in a car shop. And so as he was there, he started doing really good and getting promotions, and he just realized that he had found his vocation. And I really like that story because my dad can relate to that. My dad, he was not good at school. He barely graduated high school. And so after he graduated, he went straight to the workforce and he started working and just, working hard to build his life. And now my dad, he owns an AC company, and the AC company is called CrossFit Mechanical because through CrossFit Mechanical, like I said, he works with people, and that's already ministry as itself. He bases my parents based their company off of God and through ministry like that. Obstacles that we go through with school, jobs, and even that people who may not like us, it shapes us into our calling, which is an example for me. I've gone through a lot of things through sickness, through friendships, and and it's been really hard through my family as well. But everything that I have been through over the years has shaped me into my faith and into the person that I am today for serving God, because now I want to serve a full time of ministry through everything that I've been through, because I can go out and share the testimonies that I've been through that maybe somebody else needs to hear as well. Another thing is that in order to be a Christian, you don't have to be called to ministry, but you can still serve God through your vocation, which I thought of my mom because my mom's not a preacher or a singer or stuff like that, but she devotes a lot of time into church, donating money and just being there for the girls, for girls ministries. And that's her vocation. She enjoys being with those girls and just, being that light in their life as well. And so this is my book report, and I really enjoyed this book, and Yes, so thank you and God bless you, Dr. Hayes.